In this episode of Chamber Chats, we'll talk with Cynthia Valenti Smith, VP Mortgage Production Manager for Regions Bank in Naples and surrounding communities, and Southwest Florida Mortgage Production Manager for Collier, Lee, and Charlotte counties. With over 30 years of banking experience, Cindy combines business expertise with a strong commitment to community impact. She leads Regions 360 approach to delivering comprehensive financial solutions and drives local engagement initiatives in economic and community development, education and workforce readiness, and financial wellness. In this episode, we'll explore how Regions Bank's mission is making a local impact in Southwest Florida through financial wellness, economic development, and workforce readiness, while highlighting the power of partnerships to build inclusive prosperity across the community. Cindy, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Christine. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. So Regions Bank has a mission to making life better in the communities that you serve. How does that mission come to life here in Southwest Florida?
I appreciate you asking me and having me today. So what we've been doing is we partner with our team at Regions Bank throughout the area. I'm in the mortgage area, but we also team up with our commercial, retail, and wealth and advisor area. And we seek out nonprofit groups in the area that are in need of education financially. We want to see what their needs are within the communities and how can we assist. We lean first of all on our youth and young adults because we know there's such a great need of understanding financial wellness as they are growing and developing. And we have set up presentations in numerous groups in the community as well.
Wonderful. So how long have you been with Regions Bank, and why do you enjoy Regions Bank so much?
It's about 5.5 years now. I really appreciate what they do because of the culture and what we do in the community. We're not just giving loans out or open depositories. What are we doing within the community to help our neighbor, to help our fellow person, our teachers, our service people within the community? What are we helping them with besides traditional banking? And the community engagement portion is a huge portion. We volunteer. We get out, we're in the community, we're your neighbors, and we come in as a group, quite the force that comes in as when we do presentations. There's at least 3 to 10 of us at any type of presentation that we're doing. We do them in person, and we also have a remote group as well for financial literacy.
Wonderful. Thank you for all that education for the community. So why are financial wellness, economic development, and workforce readiness such important focus areas for Regions?
Well, I think it's really the basis of life. As we are progressing in life, we need those basics. And the basics parts are math portion and financial wellness. And a lot of times we're not getting that within the traditional school system. Our teachers have so many other things they need to teach. So we really need the banking side of things to come in and educate and present budgetary reasons, budgetary games, establishing accounts, what do different accounts mean, how do we prepare for credit, how do we establish credit, how do we correct credit, because as they are growing and they're going into the workforce, they need to be prepared with setting up their budget. They're educating themselves, they're going to be making good money, they're establishing themselves, but if they don't know what they need to do with their funds, it may not be the best budget for them and best life choices and quality of life that they need to proceed. And then eventually, the goal is hopefully helping people have a path to home ownership.
Absolutely.
So they're not always paying rent the rest of their lives. And you need those basics in learning to really get to that next level.
Absolutely. That financial wellness component is so important. So can you share examples of how community collaborations have helped you open doors for youth, adults, and individuals with disabilities?
Sure, certainly. We actually pair with Goodwill Industries of Southwest Florida, a very strong teamwork group there, and we partner with the nonprofits. So in Collier, we partner with the Immokalee Technical College, Pace Center for Girls, and the Guadalupe Center.
Wonderful.
So there are times that we're doing presentations together, and sometimes we do them separate, depending on the time allotted. So we're coming in to do financial literacy. We have specific programs with children with disabilities and young adults with disabilities. Pairing that with Goodwill and what their mission is has just really made sense to kind of bring a holistic approach to what we're both trying to do within the community. We also pair with them in Lee County and in Charlotte County as well.
Wonderful. So how would you interact with an employer? Have you ever done any kind of educational opportunities with employers?
Yes, so glad you asked. So we reach out to the employers because we know there's a need for their employees. And if their employees are financially comfortable and confident, they'll actually have better longevity with the employer. So we will go in and do presentations. So if they're having a monthly meeting, we will go in and do presentations to them at what the need is for their group. It could be basic banking needs, establishing credit. It could be a path to home ownership. But again, we can also do it remotely as well. So they can actually look at our podcast that we have. We have a whole section called Financial Wellness. It's Next Step Financial Wellness. So they can go in and really do things on their own schedule. And a lot of employers will actually indicate this as one of their benefits to be connected with Regions, and they have free access to everything.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Which really gives them that legs up.
Yeah, empowering at every level. I love that. So what role do partnerships play in creating a more inclusive prosperity here in our region?
Oh, it's such an important component. Working with the nonprofits, working with affordable housing groups. What can we do to bridge the gap to people that need to be set up for financial intelligence for everybody? Nobody comes out of any school saying, okay, I know what my budget is.
Sure.
They're not aware of that. So that's where we want to bridge the gap and really delve in and educate and ask those questions to them. And so it's really an interactive approach that we have. And some of the programs are done as a game. So you're seeing that aha moment with the young people. Oh my goodness, this is what my parents are doing for housing, for food, for transportation. They're given that reality. It's called reality check. And it's a reality check for them to really have a better understanding.
And I'm so glad to hear that you're introducing that so early, right? Because I think before that was as commonplace. You're going off to college, you're getting bombarded with credit card opportunities, right? And just maybe making some choices that are going to impact you well into your future.
And we find that the younger students are really making some wonderful choices already.
Aww.
They really are. Like, I don't need to have Netflix and everything. I can choose a lesser a package for my home.
Okay.
So they're making more things aware. I can go with a pre-owned car rather than a new car. So they're really thinking ahead, which is great to see that. Yeah,
well,
really
and I think
great.
it's the infusion of that education that really helps that. That's wonderful. So what are some ways that businesses and individuals can get involved in advancing financial wellness and workforce readiness in our region?
Wonderful question. So really what I feel is that we can pair and go into any of their companies.
Okay.
Again, it can be done remote, it can be done in person. We do one-on-ones. We want to get the education out there. It's really boots on the ground with what we're doing, and we have a committed team throughout our communities that does this. And again, if it needs to be remote, we did in Lee County area, it was a large dentistry group, so with over 100 employees. They actually had a full day of education for their field, but then we came in for part of the day for financial wellness. And doing that partnership worked out very, very well for them.
Wow, that is fantastic. So what's next for Regions Bank's community engagement efforts here in Southwest Florida?
Well, we continue to really partner strong with the groups that we are already committed with. We actually received an award this year for Breakthrough Business of the Year from Goodwill Industries. So we're very proud and grateful to receive that. It's been a tremendous partnership. And we continue to seek out other nonprofits that we can assist in. It's a very important key portion. I serve on the Housing Alliance in Collier County, really assisting in establishing affordable housing and how can we set that up for every county. I'm also on the local housing advisory council in Lee County. What can we do there? We have specific programs that help bridge the gap for mortgage lending with programs that have a minimal down payment of perhaps 3% or sometimes 100% financing. So those are programs that are specific to us and they can bridge the gap to get that person really in that path to home ownership. A lot of people think that I can't purchase a home because I don't have a credit score of 720, or I don't have 20% down, or I haven't been in my job for 2 full years. That's not necessarily true. There are programs out there. We do have them, and they're special to us. In certain counties, we actually have grants that are Regions grant funds. It's actually a pure gift that can be used towards down payment and or closing fees. So we want to really create that path to home ownership. People may not be ready right now, but we want to get them ready for the future and have those conversations for preparation.
That is wonderful. I'm really glad to hear
really
about all of that. So we covered a lot today. It sounds like you guys are really involved and invested in this community, right? Economic development, financial wellness, workforce readiness. Got your hands on a lot of pieces there. Is there anything that we haven't discussed yet that you want to make sure our viewers know?
I think really just having conversations at the dinner table. I think a lot of times families don't discuss things financially, and you don't certainly have to say everything specifically.
Sure.
But having that conversation about rent is due, mortgage is due, car payments, paying things on time, real basic banking conversations can start at the dinner table. And I think sometimes families are afraid to talk about that, but I think sharing in that, I think, is a really important piece to the equation.
I absolutely have to agree. Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, thank you. Thank you for all that you do in Southwest Florida. Thank you for what you do right here in our community. Thank you for your investment in the Chamber. We have a lot of shared goals on workforce readiness and empowerment. And so if you're an employer that's interested in making sure that your team has what they need to be financially well, or you're an individual that's seeking one of these opportunities for your own financial wellness, I'd encourage you to reach out to our partners here at Regions Bank. And Cindy, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thank you so much for having me, Christina.
Wonderful
Pleasure.
to get to know you. Thank you again to our guests for joining us and for sharing their insights on today's episode of Chamber Chats. If you are interested in sharing your own story and you would like to be featured on a future episode of the podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out to the Greater Naples Chamber to learn more about how to get involved. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Chamber Chats.